Hello, I'm Luc Tidguet, and I would like to explain to you what is the point of view of the EASA as regulator vis-à-vis the vision we are having in terms of strategic priorities. And the first would be certainly to see how, from the COVID-19, the return to operations will take place in the best safe conditions. You know that there are risks we have identified, which we didn't know before. The second challenge will be how to accelerate the energy transformation in order to start considering also the new agenda, the green agenda, which has been set up. And thirdly, we have also a big challenge is the digital transformation of aviation, which is more and more required in order to get more efficiency from the system. And last but not least, what we see also coming is the new entrants, newcomers, new participants to the aviation air transport solutions, and that is also calling for reaction. When it comes to the energy transformation, we have, of course, well-known solutions. We have sustainable aviation fuel. We have also electric and hybrid propulsion. And last but not least, hydrogen is put now as an objective by some industry actors. In terms of how to deal with that, we will have to see medium term the solutions, the second generation of the sustainable aviation fuel promoted as a way to go to help industry to match with the Paris Agreement. And this is now also a challenge to see how that could be take place, since the price would not be certainly the same as the current kerosene solution, and there is certainly need for actions there. And on this, the Commission is asking the support of EASA in order to see what are the best incentivizing schemes to help the supply side, but also airlines to make the best use of it when it comes available. Also, EASA is preparing to set up a monitoring function to observe how the market will go and how organizations will make use of the best SAF solution, and confirming that air transport industry becomes compliant with the agreement, Paris Agreement, the 2030 and 2050 objectives. When it comes to long-term objective, everybody knows that hydrogen, what might be the solution, should be or will be the solution. And this is, of course, a question. It has been already used by all the mode of transportation in terms of prototyping. So aviation has to go for it and has to look at it. And the role of the regulator will have to identify all the risks which will emerge from this new way of using energy, and how the airport, how the supply, how this will be managed also by the engine manufacturing industry. This is all new elements we have to prepare. What I want to say, last point, is the innovation and the new technologies which are coming now. And we have there to see also as a regulator how we can work with the standardization bodies to put the right framework to enable the deployment of innovative technological solutions, not blocking. You know that to have a new technology takes 3 to 5 years to develop it, and we need 5 more years to have the entry to market. This is probably too long when it comes to the benefits industry wants to get from innovation. So EASA now is preparing to engage and to get the right skills in order to also set up a new appropriate certification methodology, not more motivated by a performance-based approach, not designing really the specifications which need to be met by the supplier, by the manufacturing industry, but more based on performance and targets to be met in order to still meet the highest level of safety when it comes to artificial intelligence and digital solution. They will have still to prove that it does not compromise the current level of safety. But the new of course, objective target to be met will be the environmental protection, and that will be very, very important also for the CNS, for the air traffic management, for the digital European sky, that we see the solutions promoted by the supplier side satisfying new type of requirements. And EASA is now also preparing itself to certify ATM equipment. So this is all related to the technology of the new entrants like the drone, urban air mobility. There are new entrants which will need to fly also. So there will be a need to organize airspace, a need to ensure that autonomous flight will not compromise the commercial transport. This cannot be done in isolation from a regulatory perspective, and this is a big message I want to leave with you today. This will all work only if there is a sound and solid partnership established with those who want to promote innovation, and ourselves will have to authorize the use of some new solutions. That's what I want to tell you, and as an introductory point before we are entering into our panel.